South Carolina avoiding an upset tonight. The top-ranked Gamecocks were at number 24 ranked North Carolina, and the Tar Heels came ready to play. Not only did they take an early lead on South Carolina, they pushed it to as many as 11 at one point in the first half. And not only was this the first time that the Gamecocks haven't led at the half yet this season, but it was also the first time that the Gamecocks haven't had a single lead in the first half of a game so far this year. This is a team that's been averaging over 100 points per game. Their lowest total was just shy of 80 points against South Dakota State last week. But this game, they're held to just 65 points. But the important one in this one is that South Carolina was able to avoid that upset and defeat North Carolina 65-58. Let's talk a little bit about that first half when North Carolina was able to get the best of South Carolina. It was a physical matchup that South Carolina was just not able to ever really gain any traction in. They struggled from the three-point line, which has been an identity for this team so far this season. And it took a little bit to kind of build that momentum, but ultimately they showed why they deserve to be that number one team in the country, and that's because at the end of the day, they found a way to win. Camila Cardosa, not huge in the points production in this game. She had just 6 points. On the contrary, she had 16 rebounds in this one as she continued to be a force. She seemed to be battling a little bit of an ankle injury, as they continue to point out in the broadcast on ESPN, but she had 2 very important points, a layup with about 30 seconds remaining in the second quarter right before halftime that pulled this game within one possession, a 3-point game at the half. The Gamecocks went into the locker room and came out with that fire lit in their bellies. They went on a 7-point run to claim the lead over North Carolina, and then they went on to outscore the Tar Heels 21-12 in the third quarter of this one. They never relinquished that lead, and that's what was ultimately the important factor in this one. South Carolina with combined 7 blocks, 4 of those again by Cardosa. They had 6 players scoring and contributing in this one, with 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in double digits as they continue to spread it around a bit. On the contrary, the Tar Heels with just 5 players contributing on the stat sheet in the scoring totals, 2 of those combining for 18 and 20 points as they just wreaked havoc on South Carolina. The three-pointer really favoring. That's a strong suit for this ACC team, and it has been, and it will continue to be something that the ACC will have to deal with. This is a part of the ACC-SEC challenge. South Carolina is not done with the ACC just yet. They, of course, handled Clemson when the two met earlier this year in that Palmetto series. They're now taking on North Carolina in the ACC-SEC challenge, and it continues on Sunday when they travel to Duke to take on the Blue Devils as they round out this SEC-ACC challenge. So interested to see what South Carolina will come out like in that one. That one's again is on Sunday. South Carolina at Duke. I almost feel bad for the Blue Devils because I have no doubt that South Carolina is going to come out on fire in that one. A little bit angry and certainly disappointed with the conversation that they've allowed to open up in this one after trailing to North Carolina and proving that maybe they aren't invincible. But as we've seen, South Carolina can find that way to win, and they were able to do it again in this one after trailing 29-26 at half. They went on to defeat North Carolina 65-58 and remain undefeated and unbeaten.